Hi, everyone, and welcome to the special simulcast of a new podcast, Seniors Helping Seniors, and the Neil Haley Show. I'm first excited to welcome the host of Seniors Helping Seniors, Paul Hollis. Paul, how are you? Thanks again for stopping by.
I'm doing great. Thank you, Neil. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And our guest today is Dr. Joan Irvine. Dr. Joan, thanks for stopping by. And you help seniors in many, many ways. So you could just start out. How did that happen where you really focused your attention helping seniors?
Well, first of all, look at me. I'm a senior.
Yeah.
I had spent many years in business, and I spent like 20 years in online child protection technology. And so I'd done a lot of things, and I was pivoting, and I said, what is it that I want to do? And before, I just worked with all age groups, and I realized that I could be a good example for seniors and trying things on myself, and then being able to pass on that information to other seniors. And that's really, it was a pivot, and it was trying to figure out what to do and, where I could be most useful.
Great. Actually, seniors are sort of living longer and doing more things these days, and they're kind of having the best part of their or good part of their life, what how are you affecting them helping them get the most out of of their age?
Well, can I say a lot? I do a lot of things. Like about 4 months ago, I fractured my ankle. And to say the least, it was a real shock because I've never broken a bone before. And I'm like a data nerd. So as soon as I did that, I immediately got online. I checked with Dr. Google, as I always say. I found out everything I could, and then I write about it. And I found out, I was really shocked because the first thing they do is they say, well, you take for the pain and the inflammation, you do ibuprofen. Okay, I did that before I went to urgent care and et cetera. Well, I started doing more research, and there was an article from NIH, the National Institute of Health, saying that ibuprofen actually interfered with your bone healing.
Oh.
But no, I didn't know that. Here I was taking ibuprofen when I needed it, and I realized I was doing damage. And then I found out that collagen, not just calcium, but collagen was very important for your bone healing, and that I tripled the amount of collagen I was taking. So it's a lot of people don't do as I said, I'm a data nerd. So I do a lot of research, and then I put it out there so people have an easier way of finding it. And also, since I come from like a behavior modification background, I like to really make things simple. I go by the KISS, keep it simple and successful. And so you want to have it, it's like 5 plus or minus 2 items that people can comprehend. So I try to do my writings in that way so people can get it, and it's not overwhelming because there's so much information out. There's so much out there that it's overwhelming. And finally, at one point, you go, oh my God, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And that's not good for our health.
Well,
It's not. Go, Paul.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go, Paul.
I was going to say it's good. It's good that you have credentials, as a doctor, and because a lot of what's on the internet is, let us just say, misleading at best, right? So
Yes.
so coming from you would be a wonderful thing, acknowledge it's like, oh, we could trust you and that sort of thing. So that's a great thing, a great attitude, way to do it.
Well, thank you. I'm really, it's kind of my mission now to be able to put it out there.
So let's talk about specifically that mission of all the different things you see. Again, seniors, if they want to keep living longer, like some will have, except during COVID, we didn't see this. There are a lot of people are living a lot longer lives and are active a lot more than they were seniors years ago. That you see that mission, but they have to take care of themselves, and sometimes they're not taking care of themselves, right?
Oh, can I say a lot don't. There are certain things like, first of all, getting involved in the community. I was always working and I was traveling. I used to be on the road 30 to 60% with my job, so I didn't have time. Now I live in a small town, Redondo Beach, California. I got involved. I did the chamber leadership program. I started a nonprofit where we go and we clean up along the water. So first of all, getting connected in the community and knowing that there's things that you can bring to your community. And it sounds very weird, but we go and we pick up trash, and people stop and thank us for picking up trash. I know it sounds strange, but it feels so good that you're getting this immediate gratification or acknowledgement of what you're doing. So I think that is one of the things that people need to do as seniors so they don't isolate themselves. And then also all the research I'm doing, even you had mentioned, about people not taking, kind of doing what they need to do. You think of COVID, and COVID, we isolated because we were told it was the seniors, the elderly that were getting COVID. Well, they pushed that rather than the fact if you had underlying conditions, if you had diabetes to heart, problems, all these underlying conditions were really the issues. It wasn't just the age. And they scared all the seniors. And so the seniors isolated, and it was just terrible for their mental attitude and their mental health.
No, it's definitely terrible, and they have to see and be with each other and interact with each other. You were able to do it. How do you recommend other seniors do it that don't have the luxury of being part of a board or being in a volunteer group to get to be with other seniors and socialize?
Well, first of all, do things like this. I mean, can I say Zoom boomed during COVID? There were so many Zoom meetings that you could go to. All the local hospitals had it. We have a group called the Beach City Health District here in Redondo or in the South Bay in the beach cities, where they were having Zoom meetings so that you could be doing your exercise. They'd have classes. They'd be talking about the issues, but you have to interact with other people. And the computer, we all have a love-hate relationship with the computer, but the computer really connected us with other people so that if we couldn't get out there, at least we could see people and we could talk to people, find out what's going on in the community.
Totally. Go ahead, Paul.
Excellent advice. I mean, I hope the seniors that are going to be watching this will take this to heart and actually do get out there and even if it's on a Zoom, to start interacting and get out there and there's a big world out there that needs to be investigated. So more power to you and the things that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. In fact, you'll appreciate this. Just yesterday, I have a girlfriend that we've been walking every Monday morning at 8 o'clock for about 7 years. We go for a walk. And it's a great way that we get outside. We're by the beach. We talk about personal stuff. We talk about business. We talk about all these things. And for the first time, we saw this group of 4 women who were going out. They were in their wetsuits. They were going out ocean swimming. They were between late 60s and early 80s. And they were going to be swimming about 2 miles in the ocean. And I'm just going, ooh, that's really cold. I'm not going to do that. But what was most interesting is they only started doing this 14 years ago.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this woman who was 81, she started doing this in her late 60s. And so that you can be doing a lot of things where the way that, I just get so annoyed with the media is that all of a sudden, I'm going to tell you, I am 75. I just turned 75 years old.
Not like 75. Wow.
No.
I'm lucky. But also part of it is the college and part of it is all the things. I belonged to a cycling club for 5 years. I used to do 100 miles a week with the cycling club. And I was one of the youngsters in the cycling club. And, but that you need to get out there and get that physical exercise is so important for us. And it doesn't have to be swimming 2 miles in the ocean. Especially with the fractured ankle, I do, about 45 minutes, which ends up being about 2 miles. And I can still do that, but that is so important because it's one of those, what's that old expression, use it or lose it.
Yep.
So you need to be, out there. And then it also has you interacting with other people.
Yeah, the interaction's so important. It really is. And then doing something else. So let's talk about specifically say other things seniors can do to improve themselves. What else do you think?
Well, first of all, I think diet. I mean, and I just wrote a blog about defying the aging stereotype about 11 years ago. Well, first of all, it's diet, it's taking care of your health. I stopped smoking cigarettes about 40 years ago when I saw what my mother was like in her 60s, how it was affecting her health. So I did that. Then about 11 years ago, I mean, I go out and I'm part of the chamber, I'm part of all these things, so I'm out all the time. And I gained a lot of weight. And my glucose number was all of a sudden pre-diabetic, and my mother had diabetes too. My brother has diabetes too. And the doctor said, lose 30 pounds, come back and get a blood test. And if your number's not down, you're going on medication for the rest of your life.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And I went, okay, this is my responsibility.
Yeah.
I can take a pill or I can lose weight. And I dropped 60 pounds, 60.
Fantastic.
Wow.
And
Great.
that's when I also started bike ride, cycling. I started doing things because otherwise I was going to end up with diabetes too. And that's, the worst of it is blindness, losing limbs, doing all those things. And if I could take control of that, then why would I just want to take a pill? So I think, have to take responsibility for your life.
That's no doubt. And that's the thing, that making health better. And, people talk about reverse aging. It's really reverse aging the process of how we deteriorate our health. It's not reverse aging like we want to go ahead and it's like the fountain of youth. It's as simple as cutting back and you will look younger. Starting to eat healthy and you will look younger. Start to sleep more and you will look younger. Keep your mind more going and you will look younger. Have happiness and gratitude. You will grow younger, right?
Oh, absolutely. And can I say, I'm not, it took my glucose number being up to a certain point for me to do anything about it. So I'm not always that proactive, but I do listen to this. I met this one woman from the NIH at a Milken summit many years ago, and she said, you listened to the whispers.
Yes.
Because your body tells you what's going on and it whispers to you. And if you don't listen to the whispers, all of a sudden that's when you get the heart attack. That's when you get cancer. That's when you get, all of these things. So, but we've not been taught, we've been taught nothing against doctors, medical doctors, but we've been taught that we just listen to them.
Totally.
And at the same time, when I dropped the weight, I stopped drinking wine because of the sugar, which my friends are going, oh, kill me before I stopped drinking wine and champagne. And I had to do that. And then fast forward 2 years ago, I started having some issues with peripheral neuropathy.
Oh, man.
And I did all my research, as I said, research, data nerd here. And there was one consistent throughout everything, gout, peripheral neuropathy, etc. And it was alcohol. Oh. So I stopped drinking alcohol, and I'm out 2 or 3 nights a week at happy hours with my friends. So that was a change. But what I did is I found that there was, and be perfect blunt, there was cannabis beverages that I could drink that I still could get a little bit of a buzz like my friends. So I wasn't sitting there going, oh, poor me, poor me. And the cannabis, gave me that little bit of a buzz that I would get from alcohol. And it was good for my body rather than being bad for my body. Then about a year ago, I started getting atopic dermatitis, which for me, basically, my face just started swelling. My eyes swelled. I was peeling. And I'm interviewed like this. So you can't be looking like that and say, oh, yeah, I'm healthy, I'm doing this, and then scare people. So I went to my dermatologist, I went to an allergist, nothing showed up, but I talked to my allergist and I said, what about gluten? What about wheat? He goes, well, even though it's not showing up, try it. So I eliminated gluten from my diet.
That's such an important thing too, that people don't know.
Yeah. And it cleared it up. And plus I was taking CBD internally, and externally I was using skin cream that included CBD. That's good for inflammation. So, I've had to do these things. And even with fracturing my foot, as I said, I did research and I increased the collagen, and it was almost not an instant, but it's like 4 months later, and was almost like a natural facelift.
Right.
I was shocked, and people were saying, Joan, you're looking so good and you're doing this. What are you doing? And it's like, well, drink. I've added the collagen. I'm doing all the vitamins. My diet, I go by an anti-lectin diet. Dr. Gundry has this anti-lectin. They're all the doctors are my age are starting to get into this anti-lectin diet. So I've changed my diet. Do I miss foods? Yes. But the health benefits of it's
not worth it to do the other. Exactly. And then when you do break the diet, which I'm sure you do, as everyone does, it makes you feel like crap. Totally. All right. So where's the best place people can find information on? Such great tips for seniors, and I guess for everyone, but at least for seniors.
Yeah.
Try to stay healthier and stuff. Where can they go?
You are a poster child.
I try, and that's, can I say, if I can do that for people, I mean, that to me is important at this age. I mean, I can go to my site, drjoanirvine.com, and under Ask Dr. Joan, and I put up blogs about what I am going through and what I've done to make the changes. And I am like my doctorate of clinical hypnotherapy, and my BA is behavior modification. So it's food, it's how you can change your diet and the things you can do. It's even like dancing. I mean, I love to go dancing. I'm an old rocker, and I go dancing a couple of times a week with my 50 and 60-year-old friends. And it's great because you're producing all those wonderful chemicals, those feel-good chemicals. You're naturally producing those. I start off every morning. I wake up and I put my water on for the coffee. I go on my balcony and I look at the ocean and I say, thank you for letting me live here. I'm so fortunate. And then I dance. I go to Alexa and I go, okay, James Brown, I Feel Good, or Tina Turner, Simply the Best. And I dance for 3 minutes.
I love it.
It gets everything. Yeah, and it's real simple. I mean, it's not, I don't have to go out. And it gets all of those natural chemicals, feel-good chemicals flowing through your body. And maybe it picks you up just a little bit, but maybe that's all you need at the moment, is that just that little bit of a pickup.
And a little bit of pick me up. That's all we need. So, Joan, so again, the website one more time.
drjoanirvine.com.
All right, guys, that was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and Seniors Helping Seniors, guys. Take care.